Only 2 races remain until we get to the chase, and it's anyone's game around that cut line in terms of who will make it into the championship chase for 2025. We already know Ludovic Charette is locked in, but so far the rest of the 12 spots are still yet to be determined. We have 2 races left here from the Pocono Raceway and next week at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. But today it's the Herr's Forever Good 400. It's the home state race for the Wawa Cup Series. Will a Pennsylvania native go to victory lane? Will a Pennsylvania team go to victory lane? Or will Ludovic Charette move from the back of the field in the front and get her second straight win? It's all going to go down here for 40 laps at the Tricky Triangle in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. It's the Herr's Forever Good 400, race 21 of the 2025 Wawa Cup Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Pocono Raceway here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. We're here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the home state race for Wawa, the home race for Herr's, and we're excited for this race because this is a fast speedway. And what we saw in qualifying on Thursday was these guys got those drafts going into the corners and down the straightaways. And we have ourselves a rather jumbled up starting grid for this race. Our points leader, Ludovic Charette, starts all the way back in 27th. Well, we saw Laura Chung go to the pole, and she's going to have herself a very good opportunity getting her second win of the season. But we're joined alongside Matt Tuck, and of course, Matt, you're the team owner of the Daniel Paulus Jr. Driver starting relatively deep in the field. Ludovic Charette doing the same thing. I'm going to ask you right now, how do they work their way up to the front in this 40-lap race here at Pocono to have a shot at getting the race victory here in the Herr's Forever Good 400?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting race. I mean, we've seen a lot of drivers be able to overtake here previously. You can, if you have a fast car, you can work your way to the front. And I think we have some slower cars who are more towards the front of the field, so it's going to make this opening stint very exciting, and there's so many points implications on the line with a lot of guys in the wild card hunt starting deep, and some of the drivers chasing them starting up at the front of the field. This points battle is very hot here when we drop the green flag.
And of course, we'll see this points battle swing quite a bit throughout the day as well. And of course, next week at Atlanta, that's the big race. Who's going to make it into the chase? Well, this race sets that up, and we're going to jump right into it. Here are the point standings coming into this race. You see the chase cutoff right there. Keep in mind, Laura Chung won the pole. She's got 38 points. I would like to apologize that I've not been accurate with putting that pole point on this grid, but Laura's in a good spot. Starting on the pole, 38 points ahead of the cutoff coming into this race. And that's going to make things very, very interesting going down the road for some of these other drivers. Of course, Ludovic Charette, she's green. She's good to go, even though she starts deep in the field. She's in the chase, still going for that regular season title, only 44 points ahead of Daniel Paulus Jr. And if she has an issue in this race and Paulus ends up going to victory lane in his home race, then it could get interesting for that regular season battle going into next week. But we'll focus on that chase cutoff. You got Daniel Paulus Jr. 76 points ahead. Travis Crampton, who starts 4th, is 60 points ahead. Duncan Ward has been really fast on these speedways, 51 ahead. Laura Chung, of course, 38 points ahead. Kirsten Bell and Nathan Smith looking pretty good. As long as they have a solid day, they should be good going into Atlanta, 29 and 28 ahead respectively. But here's where it gets interesting. Isaac Nichols, he made the Fast 6, 11 points ahead of the cutoff. 2 straight DNFs here in the Wawa Cup Series. It's not been a good run for him as of late, and he cannot afford another one here today. Alex Samatali, he starts deep in the field in that 61, 8 points ahead. Logan Williams, 7 points ahead, also starting deep in the field. Avery Alford in the 13 machine also does not have a good starting position for this race, though he is a little bit better off than Samatali and Williams, 7 points behind. And Alford could point his way in here in these next couple of races. And then you got Jack Haas, Blaine Keys, Andrew Miller. Jack Haas and Andrew Miller, as you see, are very comfortably in the wild card, assuming that someone like Isaac Nichols or Nathan Smith or Kirsten Bell do not fall outside the top 10, of course. But they're 22, 23, 27 points behind, respectively. Blaine Keys needs a win if he's going to have a shot, really. Though he could still theoretically point his way in, though that wreck in Montreal really took him out of contention. And then pretty much everyone back there from Bartow on down, they're really going to need a miracle or a race victory. And only Bartow through Troxel will have a mathematical shot at making the top 10 in points. Diacomo is out of contention to make the top 10, though if he wins the next couple of races and things go crazy up there with those wild card drivers, he could find himself in a position to possibly make the chase. But we'll see how that all ends up shaking out. Matt, I'm going to ask you one more question. This is a very, very interesting racetrack in terms of how it races, and we saw the draft come into play quite a bit in qualifying on Thursday. Do you think because of that, we're going to see ourselves a winner who we haven't seen go to victory lane in quite a while here in this Her's Forever Good 400?
Well, I think that's it's an interesting way to frame that, because we obviously have some guys who have very fast cars, and we know our guys who can win who haven't in a while. But you also, you have, Laura Chung's on the pole, but Bernardo de Oliveira has shown some speed on these types of racetracks, and he's not that deep in the field. So, a guy like him, could he pull off an upset here? It's doable. I think you will see by the end of this race, the strongest cars will be at the front of this race, but it is an interesting racetrack because it's not an equalizer, but it opens up some opportunity. And you also have to remember too, sometimes that fuel mileage window can just land so right to produce some chaos at the end.
And we saw that happen at Gateway, and our fuel window's right about the halfway point of this race. If it goes green, it'll be a one-stop race, but if we get a caution anytime before they come down, it will be a two-stopper here at Pocono, which could make things very interesting. That pit crew is going to be very important if that ends up being the case. Laura Chung, of course, won the pole on Thursday. Great run for her in qualifying, and she gets a bonus point and looking to lock her spot into the chase. We're going to see a lot of drivers, I think, lock their spot into the chase after today. Tanner Parton trying to win and go into the wild card. Outside pole right there. We'll have to see. It's quite a ways behind Andrew Miller and Jack Haas at the moment, so a win does not guarantee him a spot, but he would be hoping for Jack and Miller to end up moving themselves into the top 10. Andrew Miller might do that, with him starting in the third position today alongside Travis Crampton. Eric Monaco and Isaac Nichols round out the top 3 rows. Thomas Troxel and Isaac Nichols make up row number 4. And then Zayden Davis, another uncharted driver there in the 00, in the Her's machine. Mind to tell you, in the Her's race, so we'll see. Maybe a little sponsor magic there alongside his teammate, Duncan Ward, or should I say Bryce Egan in the number 9. Duncan Ward starting in the 8th position alongside Thomas Troxel right there. Good qualifying run for those two drivers from the Team Williams camp. All right, let's go ahead, get these drivers to roll off here from the Pocono Raceway. And it is quite a long pace lap. But Matt, I know you've had time to think about this. You were calling qualifying with me the other day. Who do you think is going to victory lane in this Her's Forever Good 400 at Pocono?
Well, we have some cars that are fast, that are kind of out of position, and we know they're going to find their way to the front. We also know we have some very strong cars at the front. And I will be bold here today. I won't pick a GRT car, but I will pick a car from a team that is very strong here. And I'm going to go a couple rows back to the Her's machine of Zayden Davidson. He has been quick at this track type. Team Williams has stepped up their game at these kind of races, and I think it's going to be Zayden, not the two guys in the chase hunt here, who's going to get the job done today.
We'll have to see if we get our second uncharted driver to go to victory lane this season here in the Wawa Cup Series. Zayden Davidson, he's definitely found a lot of speed and trying to beat Darian Arnsdorf in the uncharted points race. They have been very close with the 29 points apart from each other, with Arnsdorf leading that battle right now. There's Paulus. This is a home race for Daniel Paulus Jr. Not too far away here from the Pocono Raceway. We'll see what he can do from the 14th starting position. Blaine Keys starting in the 21st starting position here today. We'll see what that ends up entailing for him. And Ladovic right all the way back there in the 27th. She won last week in Montreal. If there's anyone that can work her way from the back to the front, it is Ladovic, who's already locked into the chase trying to win the regular season title here today as well, one race early. But it's Laura Chung and Tanner Parton leading this field off to the green flag. They've both been in the series since the very first race. One of them has a race victory, the other one does not. We'll see if either of them go to victory lane here today. But here we go. We're in the Commonwealth here today for the Her's Forever Good 400, and we're underway at the Pocono Raceway in the Wawa Cup Series. be careful here on the first lap. They're 3 wide. Eric Monaco went for it at the start of the race. They're going to fan it back down. What a start out of Tanner Parton, but what a launch in the turn 3 for our pole sitter, Laura Chung, trying to take this race lead away on lap number 1. A bonus point towards the championship at stake, and it's going to go to Tanner Parton in the number 97 for NS Racing. That was a unique first lap right there from the outside pole. And Tanner Parton leads lap 1. Laura Chung, Andrew Miller, Eric Monaco. How about Thomas Troxel up to the 5th position in the 62? Travis Crampton, Zane Davis, and LJ Semedo in the top 10. Bernardo de Oliveira, a lot of different faces up front right now. And Paul is slipping back in the 54. And Ludovic Shred also slipping back. Nicholas Samadillo, Blaine Keys, Logan Williams all surrounding this 51 machine right now. And qualifying meaning so much here. You do not get caught back in here in case an accident happens. We saw what happened to those guys who were in the back of the field in Montreal last week. And Ludovic Shred's got to be careful in the position she is currently in. Paula slipping back right there, up to the front. It's still Tanner Parton. It's Eric Monaco going for 3rd on Andrew Miller.
Yeah, I think we were talking during some of the sessions. I mean, these racing motorsports cars, this is we joke about their super speedway pace. Hats off to them. They're elite at it without question. But they bring some fast cars here at Pocono and Indianapolis, and we're seeing that with Monaco here today. A very strong drive from him. Crampton moving his way by Miller. Miller cannot afford to let Parton just run away with this here today. Troxel's moving up as well, and Zayden Davidson. That 00 looks quick. The 0 de Oliveira looks quick, and Duncan Ward looks quick. The GRT cars struggling here so far. The Team Williams cars, they are moving in the right direction here early in this race, but so much action up and down this 42 car field.
And Paul's trying to find some speed on the inside lane. Paul is trying to get his 5th win of the season, trying to break the record for the most wins in a season in the Wawa Cup Series. As we had a pass for the race lead, Laura Chung took it away there from Tanner Parton. That's all you got to do. Saw that in the corner of your screen right there. And a new race leader, Laura Chung. But how about Eric Monaco in this 45? There's some real pace in this 45 machine here today. And Eric Monaco, the Daytona 500 winner, looking to get his 2nd win of the season as an uncharted driver, may pull off an upset here today. Tanner Parton, Andrew Miller going to try to sneak back down to the inside into the tunnel turn. Travis Crampton trying to move his way back up in the points as well. And Crampton up into the 5th position now as he gets around Thomas Troxel. But these are a lot of guys who, as of late, the past few weeks, we have not seen run up front here in the series. Well, now we are seeing them, and Laura Chung leading this field here at the Pocono Raceway for the home team in Rut Racing.
Rut Racing having a very strong effort so far. De Oliveira's moving his way through the field. So this is a great sign to see from Rut Racing. They've had a very nice season, but here comes Parton again. Race season on the line here over these next 2 weeks for Tanner Parton. I mean, he needs to step up here for NS Racing. They're having a great day, though. I mean, I've talked about Team Williams and Rut Racing here so far, but NS Racing 2-4, fantastic effort for them so far in this race. But Miller is also, I mean, again, this points battle is just going to be ever-changing, and if Parton gets a win here, if Miller gets a 2nd win, there is so much on the line here for these drivers, and these top 4 are starting to form a little bit of a draft and get a breakaway, and I do wonder if Monaco maybe is going to hold some of these guys up. And how about LJ Semedo in the 71? Didn't talk about him a lot in qualifying, but he's up here 10th position early on in the going, and he looks like he has a very strong car here from Titan Fury Racing today.
Yeah, looking good there for LJ Semedo, and we'll see what that ends up translating to as the race goes along. Zane Davison in 10th, Isaac Nichols in 11th, Nathan Smith in 12th, another Pennsylvania native right here, another home race for him. This is a home race for a lot of guys. Ironically, it's not a home race for myself. That's actually Dover. We'll get there in about a month's time for the Nemours Children's Health 400. That'll be... Sorry to remind you about that one, Matt. But Paulus moving his way up in the 54. Great run for Paulus right now, considering how he ended up starting the race, falling back right there. Up to the 14th position now. Here's Bell. Avery Alford, he needs some points to get ahead of Williams and Samantali. And, well, Williams is coming through the field in 95. Samantali is also doing the same thing. I tell you what, this is surprising. Ladovic has just simply not moved up at all in this field, and she is still stuck on the cusp. She's 30th right now. Just inside the top 30 in this race. Blaine Keys is also...
Blaine Keys is worse, though.
Blaine is also way off the pace in this 32 machine. And it actually looks like he's got a bit of damage in that 32 as well, so I'm wondering if he got sideswiped by somebody, and that's affecting him. But, man, I think it's safe to say that Lane is probably going to miss the chase at this point, because there's just no recovering from it at this point. What a shocker. We thought that was a surefire pick to make the chase at the beginning of the season, and that ended up not being the case. And we pull away just for a second, and look at what we got. Travis Crampton. Hey, remember what he did at Homestead. This could be a great opportunity for Crampton to go to victory lane once again, and the 97 got back around the 20, and then Crampton took it back away, and we got ourselves a great battle up front, and I think a lot of these guys are going to have a great opportunity of winning as this race goes along.
You know, something was worth noting. Tanner Parton came into this race. He was about 29 points off of Blaine Keys. Folks, he's about to jump. He's jumping Blaine Keys as we run here. There's going to be some words in the Pacific Racing Camp in the off-season. This has been a disaster. I know that Troxel's got 2 wins on the season, but he is fighting for his chase life. And Blaine Keys is just, there's been some duds here. But NS Racing, this is the kind of speed. Interesting to see them really find the speed on a track like Pocono here. Very big straightaways, lots for the car to get up to the top speed here. But they are definitely, this is a strong showing for them. And something to note here too, we're going to go to Indianapolis in the chase. And, you know, you talk about another track, what's the closest track to Pocono? It's Indianapolis. And this is a good sign for NS Racing, that they're going to have some big-time speed when we hit their home track of Indianapolis.
Yeah, I know Nathan would love... Hey, Nathan's had a good streak in Indianapolis. He had a great Indy 250 week. He won a race as a driver, and then Brendan Wilmington, who's ironically the owner of Pacific Racing, got the win for him in the Indy 250. Laura Chung back to second, to the inside of Tanner Parton. Andrew Miller still up here, but guess who passed all those guys? It was Travis Crampton. And like I said, that reminds me a lot of what he did at Homestead to get his one and only race victory of the season so far. Travis getting a win here would be great for the momentum going into the chase that we kind of feel like he's lost a little bit in the last few races, but he's got an opportunity here in this 98 machine to get his second win of the season, be the first season that he's won multiple races if he actually gets it done here today. Though he has won a race in each of the Wawa Cup Series seasons. Not every driver can say that. Drew Webb can say that, ironically. But Ladovic can't say that. Blaine Keys so far can't say that. A lot of drivers who can't say that. Troxel can say it. He's won in all seasons of the Wawa Cup Series, though it's not been a good season for him overall. Good race for him. He's running 7th, though, and he's got an opportunity of winning this thing. As much as I, don't want to jinx him in that regard, this is kind of a race I feel like Troxel could win, and, I don't think it's going to help him out too much because he's already 67 off. We didn't even talk about that wild card race because it's just such a big gap. We didn't even put Brian Webb or Drew Webb in because they're mathematically eliminated from the wild card. So Troxel 67 off of Andrew Miller. Well, there's Andrew Miller in the 86, excuse me. What Troxel is hoping for is for Miller or Jack Haas to jump into the top 10. That's Troxel's only shot. As long as all those winners stay in the top 10, that's the opportunity Troxel will have in making the chase. How about this guy, Bernardo de Oliveira, as Laura Chung got shuffled out of line by Parton again. And NS Racing 1-2 again, and Parton right on the back bumper of Crampton going to go for the lead once again here. And we've had a very competitive race up front, and now Tanner Parton back up front, still going for his first career Wawa Cup Series race victory. It may come here today at Pocono. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, Andrew Miller fighting and Tanner Parton. There's some irony going on here. I mean, Andrew Miller drove that 97 for NS Racing last year, and now he's racing for Durrani, but I could argue he might be in a better position today than Tanner Parton is. And folks, don't look now. It only took about 12 laps for Mr. 4 wins on the season to get his way into the top 10, and he's only 2 seconds off of the leader. Little pit strategy, and he's taken Darian Arnsdorf with him, who's on an absolute heater the past couple of weeks here. Kirsten Bell also moving up through the field. Avery Alford, keep an eye on him at this point. Avery Alford and Logan Williams, this is a huge battle in the points to be watching here today. And Nathan Smith, Jack Haas, Alex Sanvitali, he, I think, is going to go to Atlanta. He's going to need to step it up here today in the second half of this race, or he's going to Atlanta in not a good position. Ludovic Charette running behind Drew Webb. But here we go for the lead again. They will not stop changing the lead here.
And Crampton tried. It's hard to get a run down the straightaway on the front stretch here. But Eric Monaco is still up with these guys. How about this 45 machine and what he's been able to accomplish here today, though? As the tires wear out, that outside lane gets a lot more grip, especially in turn number 1. Crampton, though, is going to utilize the turn where you can make a pass on the inside. That's turn 2, and once again, another lead change. And Travis Crampton back up front. You know, maybe these guys trying to save a little bit of fuel. As we mentioned, that fuel run right around halfway. We saw what happened at Gateway last week, and I don't know if these guys do not want a repeat of that. Tanner Parton was a victim of that, if you remember. And he got shuffled out of line. Andrew Miller up to second, but Travis Crampton leading the field here. Bernardo de Oliveira is still in the mix here. And, oh boy. Paulus.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I don't know if I want to say it like this, but Paulus is this year's Blaine Keys. Would you agree with that, the way he's gone and dominated some of these races?
I think... I mean, it's such an interesting way the season's unfolded. Because there were cars that I did, like, I knew Daniel was gonna, you know, put in some good work here this season. I mean, and it's also worth noting, too, he's had some races where I genuinely think he had a car that could have won the race, and it didn't go his way. I mean, we talk about early in the season, that Vegas disaster, he didn't have the car to win, but, no, he's been excellent. He's been excellent, and in a very competitive season up against a very elite driver in Ludovic Charette. He's been outstanding here, but Eric Monaco is going to bat against the 2 NS Racing cars, and Andrew Miller, almost got turned there by the 97 of Parton, and I think Parton's being told on the radio, hey, the 54, the 23, and the 93 are coming. You need to start going to defense here. Oh boy, this is gonna, is he gonna try 3 wide into the tunnel?
Not quite.
Not quite.
Going to play it a little conservatively right there, but you know, I have a good feeling. I have a good feeling about him. But here we go once again for the lead, and Andrew Miller is going to decide to go up front this time. And already our 4th different leader of the race, and probably our 7th or 8th different lead change. A much more competitive race than what we saw last week in Montreal. But I think we're going to get a 5th. Oh, look at Crampton. Look at that move right there. I don't know if I've ever seen that before here. He was like, I'm going to cross back over and take it back away from you, my good man. We'll see if he can hold on to the inside in turn 1. There's a lot of grip on that middle lane once these tires wear out. Miller's going to try to take advantage of that. And all of this is just allowing Daniel Paulus Jr. to close it. Hey, how about Kirsten Bell all of a sudden up to 6th? She's kind of followed Paulus here in all of this, and you know, she's another driver looking to clinch her spot into the chase today. I think that's the motivation for her and that team. Get one of those Evans Ross cars in the championship chase. Oliveira, Troxel, Duncan Ward's he hasn't been able to move up, but he's up here. Got some battling back in here with Logan Williams and Isaac Nichols. Laura Chung's fallen back outside the top 10 now in that number 20 machine after winning the pole and leading a few laps early on. And you got Logan Williams. How about Brad Stover, the other Durrani car back in there with Jack Haas? There's some speed in that car today, as there's speed in our race leader's car. Crampton's going to try it again on the inside of Miller. This time he's going to make it work. Or is he? Oh, Miller, he found the grip again, not enough. And Crampton back to the race lead as we're closing in on the cycle of pit stops. So just about halfway, lap 20. We can expect some of these guys to dive down the pit lane. Monaco looking to the inside for second. Parton on the outside of him. Kirsten Bell's gotten around Daniel Paulus Jr., and Kirsten might have the fastest car on the racetrack right now.
I mean, we're having a mid-2010s IndyCar race here. I mean, these guys, it looks like a plate track with the way that they've been able to just draft off of each other, and they're not really separating. It is going to make this pit stop cycle so crucial. An undercut versus an overcut, and not having a bad pit stop. If you have a bad pit stop, I mean, look, Bruno Diacomo's probably 25th, 26th on the racetrack. I can still clearly see him on my TV screen. You cannot afford a bad stop here in a couple laps, and this starts here. But there are some heavy hitters and some underdogs going to bat here, and they will not stop changing the lead around. And this 93 of Kirsten Bell, she wants to get up there and challenge the 86 and the 98, who do look like they have the 2 strongest cars to this point in the race. But this is going to be a very exciting second half of the race if these guys and girls can keep it close coming off of pit road.
This really could be anybody's races. Kirsten got shuffled out of line. Oh my, they're 3 wide off the corner. Bernardo really going deep in the turn number 3 right there, trying to get all he can, and he's running with the big guys right now, and I'm proud of him. He's a good driver, you know, and he belongs here, and he's not banned from here, and, you know, he's having a great run in this race. Has had flashes of brilliance with rut racing, and, you know, Joe, I think, put a lot into this race, it being the home race, and we're definitely excited to see what De Oliveira can do going forward in the Wawa Cup Series in the future, because there's a lot there. Just untapped potential, I feel like what you guys did with Daniel Pauls Jr. I think De Oliveira's got the same thing that's here with him. He's running top 10 here today. He's got a shot at winning this race. I think anyone from Nichols on up has a legitimate chance, and even Jack Haas has found himself in the lead draft here. The top 15, and we'll see what he can do once we get this cycle to start here in a couple laps. There goes Paulus for 4th. But it's still Crampton and Miller. 1-2 with Monaco still 3rd. We'll have to watch and see what Monaco does in this race, because even he has a legitimate chance of getting a 2nd win of the season. Next time by will be halfway through the Herr's Forever Good 400, and this has been a good race here at the Pocono Raceway so far.
Good feels like you're putting it lightly. I mean, this has been an unbelievable opening 20 laps of this race. We have seen, I mean, we're probably at close to 10 lead changes in the first 20 laps, or at least 10 attempts to overtake for the wheel. Oh, here we go!
He almost
got into him.
Oh, he was going for it there, and almost put that 98 in the wall. But they're 2 drivers aspiring for the championship chase this season. And they both know better than to get tangled up into the tunnel turn here at Pocono Raceway. Will anyone come down right here? Parton's going to start right here, so he's going to be the first one to come down the pit lane. Will the undercut work? Will the overcut work? That's the big question. He's the only one coming down this lap. So that's going to be unique right there, because he's going to be all by himself on that strategy. Kirsten Bell to the inside of Eric Monaco. This 93 still has a lot of speed. Bernardo De Oliveira in the 0. Duncan Ward. Avery Alford's in the top 10. Keep in mind where Alford is in this championship battle. 7 points behind Logan Williams and Sam Vitale. Well, he's got 8 points to get to Sam Vitale, and right now he's got that. Adobe Stratton in the middle of all that madness back in there. We'll see what she can do here on her cycle, but Crampton going to lead him down here next time by. And I can see these guys kind of indicating that they're going to be coming down the pit lane right here. So Crampton, Miller. This is going to be a very busy pit lane here at the Pocono Raceway, and I'm very intrigued to see how this ends up shaking out, because all these guys are essentially going to be on the same strategy. We'll see if Parton gains anything on these drivers, but we'll see if this race stays green. Parton may lose his advantage later on, and that might be a detriment to him. Let's see. Who else is all staying out? Got some guys there. Arnsdorf and Jack Haas, Troxel, Stover, Nathan Smith, Sameto, and Charette. What else is she going to do in this race? She's going to stay out there. See how that ends up working out for her. But here we go. Travis Crampton in the 98 machine. Andrew Miller right in front of him. Oh, my goodness. This is going to be a tight battle on the pit lane. And the number 98 of Travis Crampton looking for a 2nd win of the season. Same with Andrew Miller. They both know they got the best shots that they've had in quite some time to go back to victory lane here. And for Miller's case, this is his home race. So we'll see if that ends up working out for him. A little bit slow on the pit lane for Miller. Not a race-ending pit stop, but Crampton will win the race off. Here comes Tanner Parton in the 97. Will the undercut work, and will he take this race lead away? Well, he's going to get around Paulus right here, so it'll be a 1-2 for NS Racing. Will he have the speed to get to his teammate?
He's gonna have a good head of steam here. One thing we know about Pocono, I would argue this is the hardest track on the calendar that is not a plate track to just pull away from somebody. It is so, once you're within about a second, remember that IndyCar race was it last year, I think? It was Zachary Fitzwater and Logan Williams, and I don't remember who was in which role. Yeah, I don't remember who was in which role, but I think it was Logan Williams made up like a 1.5 seconds in the final 2 laps. I mean, look at that. Tanner Parton just made up about 0.5 tenth down the straightaway. He's gonna go right to the lead here if he can get him moved not quite to the bottom enough.
And that 1 lap's going to make a difference in the tires, though, so Parton's got to get around him now if he's going to have any shot at winning this race, and Parton needs that win now. Now, I mean, I know, this is an offline game. Game does know that these are teammates, I don't think it does anything about that. But, you know, if you're Nathan Stapleton, you're on the owner's box, on the pit box here, what do you tell Travis in this situation? Because you know your other driver, Tanner Parton, needs a win to make the chase. Well, it's your teammate leading the field here. How easy do you think Crampton's going to let Parton get it here?
I mean, they're in such an interesting situation, right? You're chasing Team Williams and Parker Davis Enterprises, Evans Ross Racing, and the Constructors. Crampton needs seeding points because Paulus and Charette, here we go for the lead. Parton clears them. Crampton needs those seeding points for the... Oh, is he going to get the run off the top? He's not letting him go, though.
And they got to be careful. Look at who's behind him. Daniel Paulus Jr. in that 54, looking to get his 5th win of the season. Parton looking to get his first ever win in the series. And he just went to the race lead here on lap 24. This has been an excellent run for Parton, regardless of where it ends up for him. He's got to be proud of the speed that he has shown. And, you know, to have it this late in the regular season is definitely a big moment for that team. But Travis is not going to give this race to him easily. And Travis also wants to get those bonus points going into the chase as well. But you can't let Paulus get into the mix here because you know that 54's got a lot of speed, a very smart driver behind the wheels we have seen this season. Kirsten Bell there in 4th, Eric Monaco, Andrew Miller, Bernardo de Oliveira in 7th, Avery Alford is 8th. Alford, I tell you, Alford, Samantali, and Williams are going to go, they're going to go sicko mode next Friday night at Atlanta because look at how close they are here, and they're going to be right on that line going into that race next week. That is going to be a wild battle between those 3 drivers at Atlanta Motor Speedway next Friday night under the lights. Paulus and Bell, they're having good runs. This is good for Miller. Yes. Miller's not going to jump top 10, but he's going to jump Jack Haas, or is he? Jack's only... They're 5. They're going to be tied. Miller and Haas are going to be tied, and they're going to both still be ahead of Tanner Parton, the way they're running in the points. And Parton's chances, even if he does get this win, are going to be very slim. So we'll see how that ends up shaking out. Paulus is within a second now of our race leaders. And if you're Travis Crampton and Tanner Parton, you got to be a little bit nervous about that. De Oliveira to the inside of Andrew Miller there. That's for the 6th position. Avery Alford and Duncan Ward, great runs there for Team Williams. And Alex Amatali, he does this every single race. He qualifies terribly, and he finds himself anywhere in between the positions of 10 and 15, pretty much every race, and that is why he's in the position he is in right now, trying to make this Wawa Cup Series chase. Not a good run there for Isaac Nichols off the pit lane. 16th for him right there. And neither for Troxel, who has fallen back to 18th. Ladovic Stret didn't really gain anything, but she is going to have fresher tires as this run goes along on these drivers she's racing with, so keep an eye out for that. Nathan Smith as well, not a good run for him. Nathan Smith is probably not going to lock a spot into the chase the way they currently run. So we'll see. As a matter of fact, we may not have too many guys who lock because all those guys on the cut line are running very well, like Alford, like Williams, and like Sam and Sally. Blaine Keys, that's just the... Where is he? Blaine even out there anymore?
Is he on the racetrack?
He is. We missed him. He's 32nd right there. We just surpassed him. There he is. But still.
Oh my.
But still,
not,
I mean, that's...
Philip Torres in front of him, Roberto Crown Jr. behind him.
That's the guy who won this race last year.
Unbelievable.
And back for the race lead, Parton to the inside of Crampton, and here comes Daniel Paulus Jr. Cue the Jaws theme.
Well, I want to cue a different theme. I don't know. Oh boy, is he going to try a 3-wide overtake in
He's going to go for it.
Is he going to go?
Oh my goodness!
He's going to go to the bottom of the NS Racing cars. Oh my goodness!
3 wide for the race lead here at Pocono Raceway on lap 28. Tanner Parton and Travis Crampton trying to keep this 54 behind him. Will he dive it into the tunnel turn? No, he will not. And the NS cars stay side by side. But they have brought all these drivers right back into the fray here for this Her's Forever Good 400. We still got 13 laps to go, 12 to go next time by here at Pocono Raceway. And Parton wants to try to pull away as much as he can on these drivers and get his first career win in the Wawa Cup Series. He is going to clear Crampton off the exit at turn number 3. And Parton remains out front here at Pocono.
There's going to be no pulling away here. I want to note something. 10th place Alex Danvitali on the first lap after everybody had merged out of the pits was 6 seconds behind the leader. He is 2.24 seconds behind. If you're Logan Williams and Laura Chung in 11th and 12th, you're not out of this race. Everybody in this lead draft can have a shot to win this race, and they are not going to break each other apart here. We could see, we were talking about upset winner in the pre-race. I mean, Monaco, De Oliveira. This could be a season-defining moment here for Parton. There is some big storylines here to watch over these next couple laps. Is Crampton, the NS Racing teammate, swapping for the lead this late in the going?
And Crampton, he just wants to pull away and get this one done. He wants Paulus behind him as far back as possible. How about Bernardo de Oliveira, who's in the mix as well? And if you're Paulus, you got to be frustrated about this, because if you got around those guys, he probably would have pulled away. Well, I don't know, with the way the draft is here. I mean, this is a very strong pickup on these cars, more so than we've seen in past years, actually. These guys are just closing right in on each other, and this has been one of the most competitive Wawa Cup Series races we have had in quite some time, as Monaco peeks it down to the inside of Paulus there for the third position. Kirsten Bell, Bernardo de Oliveira, and don't look now, Duncan Ward's up here as well in the 23 machine. Everyone from Laura Chong on up has a shot at winning this race. They're all on each other right now for this race victory here. And we still got 10 laps to go next time by here in the Herr's Forever Good 400 at Pocono. What a race it has been here at the Tricky Triangle.
This has been an unbelievable race here. And, I mean, you look up and down this can't speak. Travis Crampton in the chase. Tanner Parton on the chase bubble. Whoa. Eric Monaco won the Daytona 500. 3 wide for the 4th position between Ward, Bell, and Paulus. Oh my. Ward thought about it there. Thought better of it. But he sees an opportunity here for a win. But yeah, I mean, Daniel Paulus Jr., 4 wins. Kirsten Bell, always a threat here to win a bunch of races. Duncan Ward. There are so many great drivers up here in the top of this field here, and the NS Racing cars look so good, but I wouldn't count any of these drivers here in this lead draft out the way this is going. And I don't fully know, the one thing I don't know who has the freshest tires here. That is something I've been thinking about here over the past few laps. It might be Darian Arnsdorf, but it might be somebody else in this draft.
Well, at the moment, it doesn't really seem to matter too much, because Parton, who has the most worn-out tires, is going back to the inside for the race lead on Crampton. And this is going to bring everyone back in once again. Duncan Ward, Kirsten Bell, Avery Alford, Logan Williams. I mean, look at this. These are the 3 guys all on the cut line, and they're all running top 10, consistently moving their way through the field here in this race. And Eric Monaco, uncharted driver. Keep in mind, he has driver ratings. He's a full-time uncharted driver. And he has been utilizing that to his advantage. And he actually has a legitimate chance of winning this race here today as Parton pulls away from Crampton. Monaco is up to second. Duncan Ward is now in position here as Paulus has fallen back a little bit on that 54 machine. Maybe used up his stuff trying to make that move there. We'll see if that ends up being the case. We got ourselves 8 laps to go here at the Pocono Raceway. That is a long time around this 2.5-mile triangular-shaped oval in northeastern Pennsylvania. I love this place. It's a great racetrack here in the Wawa Cup Series, and this has been an excellent race here today. One of the best races we have had all season in terms of the competitiveness that we have seen up front.
No, this has been This has been one of... I mean, I would argue this has been one of the best Wawa Cup races that I've gotten to be able to be in the booth for, and we're not done yet. Eric Monaco.
How about this for Eric Monaco and Racing Motorsports? You want to know something? Racing Motorsports won this race last year with Blaine Keys. Now they've got their uncharted driver of Eric Monaco leading the field late in the going here in the Herr's Forever Good 400. That 45 may be one of the fastest cars on the track right now. Here comes Duncan Ward, though. That 23 is looking quick. The NS cars have kind of been disposed of at this point, especially Crampton. He's falling back. Paulus is around him. Alfred's about to get around him. Here comes Logan Williams as well in the 95. Duncan Ward, though, on the 23. A lot of speed late in the going, looking for his 3rd win of the season. He got into Monaco into the turn. Into the tunnel turn. He got in there, Eric Monaco, but he's going to take the race lead away. And it's 6 laps to go next time by here at Pocono Raceway. Parton back to second. Here comes Kirsten Bell. Here comes Paulus, and here comes Crampton again.
Oh my, I cannot believe we've seen Duncan Ward do some unbelievable moves across the season, but the bumper to the back of the 45 in the tunnel turn at Pocono has to be one of the great ballsiest moves I've seen somebody do all season. And we're not done yet. Paulus is going to try and take Crampton to inside. And hey, remember Michigan a few weeks ago? Who did Daniel Paulus have to beat? Are we? Oh my goodness. Eric Monaco has to be absolutely livid right now on that radio after getting bumped that hard. But what is Ayrton Senna? What did Ayrton Senna used to say? No attack, no surrender. I don't know who said that. Somebody with the no attack, no surrender, no victory. I mean, Duncan Ward is taking that to the extreme there, but so far it is working in his favor. But here we go.
You know, after all that we've had, this race might once again come down between Duncan Ward and Daniel Paulus Jr. It was like that in Michigan. It was like that at Gateway. And right now, it looks like that may be the case here at Pocono. 4 laps to go. 5 laps to go, excuse me, here in the Herr's Forever Good 400. And Duncan Ward leading this field for Team Williams. Tanner Parton, Paulus Jr., Travis Crampton, Logan Williams is up to 5th. I'm sure he's loving this. Great run for Logan Williams late in the going here at Pocono Raceway. Kirsten Bell down to 6th. Laura Chung to the inside of Avery Alford, and Darian Orsdorf does have the freshest tires of this group, and so does Jack Haas. So we'll see if they got enough time to utilize that to their advantage as this race goes along. You got to give Parton a lot of credit, though, because he's 2 laps slower than those guys and 1 lap behind everybody else he's racing with. Paul is trying to get a run to the inside of Tanner Parton as Duncan Ward starting to pull away just a little bit. We'll have to see if anyone can get to him or if Duncan might pull away and get his 3rd win of the season. Crampton looking back to the inside of Paulus. No momentum there. Logan Williams trying to close in on these guys, trying to get that race victory. Trying to make it into the chase for the first time in his career. And this race has been very good in that attempt to make the chase here this season.
No, this is a huge day here for Logan Williams. There was no question. He could not have a bad day here with Avery Alford showing speed. With Sam Vitale right there on the bubble. Crampton's going to try and get a double podium here for NS Racing. The Logan Williams has stepped up to the plate in a huge way. He's still going to be in an unbelievable cut battle next week at Atlanta. Oh, he's going to get to the inside of Paulus now. This is shaping up. Warm up the photo finish cameras, folks. Last time I said that at Pocono, it was a photo finish, so we're going to be in for something special here in 3 laps time here. Does Tanner Parton have enough to chase down the 23? This is an interesting one. If you're Travis Crampton, do you try and help push this 97 to the victory here? You also have to be careful because you could open the door for the 95 and the 54 to go right back around here. This is going to be fantastic stuff here.
I just don't know if Parton can close in enough in the corners to really get that draft and make a move into a corner on Duncan Ward. We'll see. He's going to have a shot at it. Paul Crampton's going to try to go for it here. And this is the opportunity to make that pass on Tanner Parton and have a shot at this race victory ahead of the 23 as Paulus moves to the inside of Logan Williams. Going to be 2 laps to go next time by for Duncan Ward. Crampton will clear his teammate, so it's not over yet. Crampton's going to still have a shot at this race victory. What a race it has been. Williams will actually clear. Parton's going to try to cross back over on his teammate. That might seal the deal for Duncan Ward. We'll see, but Crampton's actually going to get a good head of steam off the outside of turn number 1 right here. And he's got some help there from Logan Williams as well. But Duncan Ward, you know, he's got no one alongside him. They're battling for 2nd place. This race is not over yet, though. Travis Crampton going to dive into the tunnel turn, trying to close right on this 23. Parton going to try to pull or move down there on the 95 of Logan Williams. And Crampton's going to close back in on this last lap if he's going to have any shot at the race victory. Paulus to the inside of Williams back in there. Here comes Arnsdorf in the 11 with fresh tires. Avery Alford trying to close back in. Jack Haas is falling back, and Crampton is starting to reel in this 23. Here we go. White flag in the air here in the Herr's Forever Good 400 at Pocono Raceway.
And we've seen Travis Crampton this year. Looking back to Bristol, we've seen a few other times. He's put the bumper to the back of some people this year. So you've got 2 of the most aggressive guys. And don't think Crampton didn't see what Ward just did to take this lead here as a sign that he could do the same down the back straightaway for the final time. Where's the move going to come if you're Travis Crampton?
He's got to really close it in the tunnel turn to have a shot to go to the inside in turn 3. He pulled in quite a bit right there. He's going to have a shot at it here on Duncan Ward for the race lead. Will he dive to the inside going into turn number 3? He's got to do it now if he's going to have any shot. Will he do it? He's got the bumper. He's got a nose to the inside. Will it be enough to make the move and get it to the line? Duncan Ward on the outside going to hold on to it. And his 3rd win of the season, Duncan Ward wins the Herr's Forever Good 400 here at the Pocono Raceway.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy. What a race.
I don't have many words. That was incredible.
Once he took the lead, he never looked back. And Duncan Ward with his 3rd win of the season here in the Wawa Cup Series. You get Travis Crampton. You got to be happy about that run, though. A lot of speed in that 98 machine going into the chase. And Tanner Parton, he did everything right here today. He really did. What a run for him. Daniel Pauls Jr. and Darian Arnsdorf, that's his 2nd straight top 5 in the Wawa Cup Series. Avery Alford finished 7th. Logan Williams finished 6th. Alex Savintali, on the other hand, slipped back to 14th. And Alford is going to be 1 point away from Savintali. Williams is going to have a bit more of a buffer going into Atlanta from that run, but that is going to be a very tight race. Isaac Nichols is 15th. He's going to slip back a little bit right there. We're going to see how these points look here in just a moment. We're actually going to do the points here live for you and really get an idea of what they look like. But Matt, absolute cinema, dare I say?
That was one of the, if not, I genuinely think that was one of the best Wawa Cup Series races that I think we've ever seen. And that's not there's no bias in that. Like, I could say, oh, Nashville was the best because, you know, GRT 1, 2, 3, 4. But, like, we did not have the fastest cars here today. NS Racing brought 2 rocket ships here today. Had an opportunity to, I mean, they had the 1-2 there. Monaco got by, and then Duncan Ward said, I'm not going to lose to Racing Motorsports, and took matters into his own hands. And I want to, while you're going to talk about the points here, but I want to bring something up to the audience. You know, if we now go back the past couple of races, here's our past few race winners now, for people paying attention at home. 23, 51, 23, 54, 6, 54, 93, 54. I mean, Duncan Ward, I mean, this is a guy, this is a title contender. I mean, we can talk 54, we can talk 51, but he is right there with them, and week in and week out has shown on these speedways where we know the 51 and the 54 are elite most weeks. He is their biggest threat here. Just pulls up on these speedways with some unbelievable pace in that machine.
Well, Ludovic Charette, she's safe. Daniel Pauls Jr., she's safe. Travis Crampton, Duncan Ward, those 4 drivers have locked a spot into the Wawa Cup Series chase for 2025. Laura Chung's looking pretty good as well, though she kind of slipped back a little bit in this race. Kiersabel, Nathan Smith, they got to be careful because, you know, they're still a little ways ahead. I don't think there's enough drivers to knock both of them out, of course. But then Logan Williams, he's only got himself an 8-point gap on Avery Alford for that cutoff. Isaac Nichols only has a 3-point gap. Alex Savintali has a 1-point gap, and Alford is 1 point behind. And it's still Jack Hiles and Andrew Miller for the wild card. And unless we get a new winner around the Tanner Parton, Nicholas Savintali, which Parton almost won here today, Haas and Miller looking pretty safe to make it into the chase. So, wow, you see those points right there, Matt, and you see how close it is. Ludovic has not clinched the regular season championships. He finished 21st. She was a non-factor in this race. After all that we saw there, she was a non-factor. And you know, if you're Ludovic, that's not what you want going into the chase here. But, you know, very unique championship battle. Atlanta, next Friday night, June 27th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to have a lot of fun there with the Celsius Peach 5 400. I almost forgot the name of the race. It's a new race for us, and I tell you what, Matt, that Williams, Nichols, Savintali, Alford battle, 3 spots, 4 drivers, how's that going to go down at the Atlanta Motor Speedway?
I think the most interesting thing that could happen here God, there's so much interest. There's so much that could go wrong here for some of these guys. I think the most interesting outcome here, and I'm not saying this is going to happen because the two cars that it would likely impact the most would be PDE cars, and obviously I don't want to see that happen. But if, say, Isaac Nichols has a bad race, drops the ball a bit, ends up outside of the wild card, like if you are Jack Haas and you are Andrew Miller, you cannot take this race as like, oh, we're safe from Thomas Troxel. Blanky's behind you. I mean, obviously this has been a disaster of a season, but Blanky's is only 15 points behind you. Isaac Nichols, if he were to drop out by some disaster, knocks one of those two out. So I mean, we talk that those three, Sam Vitale, Williams, and Alford, are going to be having a battle. But do not kid yourself, folks. Jack Haas and Andrew Miller need to be fighting for their lives next Friday night at Atlanta, because if they mess up and somebody else out of their control either steps up or has a bad day, they could be on the outside of a chase spot. And that there is so much. I am so glad. Nothing against New Hampshire, awesome racetrack, but Atlanta Motor Speedway for the chase cutoff, sign me up. This is going to be so good.
I guess we'll probably hear you in the booth next week then, so we look forward to that one for the Celsius Peach Vibe 400 this Friday night, I should say, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we got the Turkey Hill Truck Series owner sign-ups around 7:30 p.m. Once the race is done, we will have that for the open slots in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. Hey, that's just around the corner. Caleb's going to be doing that, so you want to get in on Wawa Cup Series action as an owner, in a way. That's definitely a place to go to for that. What a race here at Pocono Raceway. And I tell you, that was one of the better races we've had all season. We had 17 lead changes, by the way, 8 different leaders. One of the most competitive races all season. But in the end, it's one of the drivers who may end up winning this championship, Duncan Ward, getting the race victory ahead of Travis Crampton and Tanner Pardon. Paulus with a great run, Darian Arnsdorf, but it was just all over the board. So many different drivers up front. Even Eric Monaco led a lap on pace in this race. What a fun time here at Pocono Raceway. What a great racetrack, and no bias here. It's one of the best racetracks, I feel like, in NASCAR for fan atmosphere as well. I mean, it's always a big crowd at this race in real life. I won't be able to make the Cup race this year, unfortunately, but always a lot of fun at Pocono Raceway, and we love it here. We love our racing here in Pennsylvania. All right. Next week, it's Atlanta. We're going to have some fun with that. We got another race later on today. This weekend is the 6 Hours of the Glen, which is also another race I'm not going to be able to make it this year. And we had a lot of fun last year at the 6 Hours. It's a shame I can't make it this year either. But we got the Body Armor Pro Series and the Grand Prix of Watkins Glen coming up here. The Kodak Grand Prix of Watkins Glen. You made the logo for me for that. So that's later on today. Some of these guys hopping on a helicopter or plane over to Watkins Glen right now to join the action over there. That'll be a fun race at around 4 p.m. Eastern Time right here on AG the channel. And of course, next week we got ourselves the final race of the regular season in the Wawa Cup Series, the Celsius Peach Vibe 400 from Atlanta. Thank you guys so much for watching. Huge thanks to Matt Tuck for joining me here for the call of this Her's Forever Good 400. And congratulations to Duncan Ward on his race victory here at the Pocono Raceway. Here are the points for the Wawa Cup Series after 21 races. And I will see you guys later.